Can you talk a little bit about Mr. Fields, Mr. Flowers, and also Mr. Davis? Those three gentlemen, they really had it going on.
They did. Corey Fields had a good ball game. We're still working to try to see if we can get his numbers up a little bit. We missed a couple opportunities for big plays that he probably thought that he should have hit. But besides that, he does an awesome job of running our football team. He's a great technician and operator of the of our offense plan. And then Kendrell Flowers is we think one of the top running backs in this league. Rushed for 147 yards in this game. Had one long run of 67 yards. Just continuously was consistent in his overall play. We think that he is a possible 1,000-yard rusher. We're hoping that we can get him up to a point where he can consistently be 100 and some odd yard rusher per game. And then B.J. Davis had probably one of his better football games. He had 2 interceptions, one that he returned for a score, one that he returned for maybe 20 some odd yard return, had 5 tackles, had 2 or 3 knockdown balls, that kind of stuff. So he was just making play after play after play in the game. He played so hard until, we like to keep him, we like to get him up to about maybe 220, 225, but he runs so hard until we consistently weigh him in at about maybe 210, 215. But he's one of the more active linebackers in the history of this place. He kind of reminds you of the Shaquille Leonard guy that's playing for the Colts in Indianapolis.
Coach, you guys only gave up 9 points to Bethune-Cookman. Just talk about the defensive Bulldogs.
Well, we did only give up 9 points. We gave up more yards than we would like. They combined for almost 400 yards, 391. And, it was one of those things where, we let them get close to that goal line so we wouldn't have quite as much field to defend. We could keep our cover guys closer to the quarterback so when they did break out and run, because it seems as though their biggest gainers were scramble plays off of pass pro. So they'd be back trying to find a receiver and couldn't find a guy, and then he'd somehow or another get away from us, or we'd lose contain, or some kind of run would happen in a way where he'd be out in the open field that way. So, we didn't necessarily hold them to as few as yards as we'd like to, but we kept their point totals down. So a large portion of that was due to the fact that that we had 4 turnovers. They had 4 turnovers, and well, that was big in our overall plan.
Coach, as King of the Hill, defending HBCU national champions, Celebration Bowl champs, South Carolina State University, everybody's looking to see, they want to be like you guys. How challenging is it every week to face another team, and they're coming at you, and they want to try to win and have the things you guys have?
Well, James, it's always that way at South Carolina State. We've been sort of the hunted for forever, and it's nothing new. It's a lot of fun being that way. You don't play in front of very many dull crowds. When we go to these places at Bethune, we had about as many fans there as they had, and it was a wonderful atmosphere for a ball game that Saturday. The biggest hindrance to the whole process was the weather. The weather held us back. We were supposed to start at 4 and we ended up playing at 6, but that cooled it off a little bit. So I guess that actually helped the overall play a little bit. But it's always fun to be a part of a South Carolina State football game, whether, you be for the, for us or against us. And, at that point, it's never a dull day. So, I don't know if I'd want to be at some place where that was not the case. I think it's always more fun to be at a place where when you show up, people are excited about you being there.
Thank you, Coach. Have a